This is Bob Pernetti, and we're here with another program of Facebook Live. So it's Mid Jersey Live, I should say, on Facebook Live. So, and we bring you programs once a week or so to talk about the things that are happening in the business community here in the Mid Jersey region. We also talk about community events that are so important to our businesses so that they can operate in healthy business environments. So we're very much about bringing you programs that involve the community as well as businesses. And today I have two individuals that are here, who one of which I've known for quite some time. We won't talk about how long. No. But I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. They're from the Governor's Office of Volunteerism, and we're going to talk a little bit about volunteerism and why that's important. So, Rowena, why don't you start? Introduce yourself.
Yes,
and let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'm Rowena Madden, and I'm the director of the Governor's Office of Volunteerism, which is a wonderful part of state government, actually. The governor is very supportive, and we're actually located with Lieutenant Governor of the Department of State.
Eldridge?
Eldridge Hawakins. I'm the Director of Policy Operations and Governmental Affairs in the Department of State, and functionally I serve as Rowena's deputy in the Governor's Office of Volunteerism.
Okay, terrific. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about the office? You said it's part of the Department of State,
yes,
under the Lieutenant Governor, who is also the Secretary of State.
Correct.
And I know a lot of things go on in the Secretary of State's office these days, but why don't you tell us a little bit more specifically about what you guys are doing with the Office of Volunteerism?
Right. Well, we have the opportunity to reach out to New Jersey's 1.5 million volunteers, directly or indirectly. So it's a very inspiring office. We get the opportunity to work with volunteers on environmental issues, homelessness. Some people are very devoted to working with homeless animals. We cover the gamut of people who want to do something. And Lieutenant Governor had once said, you know, there's a lot of people who say, you know, somebody should do something about this. It's a problem. Somebody, and she said volunteers are the people who say, we see the problem, maybe we can make something happen. So we do work with them, we train, we recruit, and we recognize the volunteers in many sectors.
So then, Eldridge, do you connect with sort of local nonprofit organizations with the volunteer effort?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, one of the key things we're focusing now is skills-based volunteerism, reaching out to business communities to find professionals that have special skill sets, whether it's in finance, whether it's in different segments of the community, and allowing them to bring their expertise to our nonprofit sector. We look for people to join boards, potentially. We look for people to help raise funds. We look for people to bring their actual day-to-day work sets to bear on issues confronting the state.
So do you link them up with some specific nonprofits to like work with any individuals with a social service?
Sure. We've worked with NJM. We've brought a lot of companies together. I think Rowena could speak to some of
Also, Bob, you might know Amy Klein, who works with Volunteer Connect in Mercer County. She's the big expert on skills-based volunteering, and she brings together the nonprofit and profit sectors together and is very successful. Also, Jersey Cares, which is statewide, and does a great job in bringing those, you know, resources together. And we also have our volunteer conference, and we do a whole segment with the corporate sector, so it's a great opportunity for us.
So I'm going to probably catch you a little off guard with this question, but a thought came to my mind. We here at the Mid Jersey Chamber of Commerce, in cooperation with the City of Trenton and the Mill Hill Child Development Center, run a summer youth employment program. And it's funded by some grant dollars that the city gets, but mainly by contributions from our businesses throughout the region. And what we do is we give youngsters summer jobs. However, in order for them to qualify for the summer job, they have to go through training that we give them at Rider University. So it's the whole experience. They go to Rider, that's great. And they do a great job for us. We have a couple of Saturdays where the kids come, they spend the Saturday there. And they learn things like, it's not really skills-based, but it's everyday work ethics, right? You know, what you should look like, how to groom yourself.
Right.
The responsibility to come on time, to come to work every day. If there's a problem, make sure you call in, let people know why you can't get to work. Conflict resolution on the work site. And then we give them a little bit about developing a resume and things like that. And the program last year was the first year, and it was tremendously successful. We had about 88 youngsters that were employed. This year, our goal is for 200. The mayor's goal is for 200. lofty goal. We hope to get there, but right now our businesses are responding. But one of the things that at the end of the program that we found was the youngsters' experience, the work experience was great. We were able to involve parents in many instances. Right now it's limited to the city of Trenton, economically disadvantaged kids in the city of Trenton. But one of the things that we found was very successful was mentoring these youngsters through the program. We only lost one youngster all summer long. So we thought that was pretty good, and the mentoring helped. So the question I'm going to ask you is if we were looking for more mentors to, not every day, but to go out to the job site and talk to the youngster and so on and so forth, could you point us in the right direction?
I think we definitely could. We have programs that are mentorship programs right now in our AmeriCorps portfolio.
All right.
AmeriCorps is sort of the domestic Peace Corps. We have those kinds of programs and we can do outreach. We could reach out through the schools and also through the businesses and through, just average everyday people to be mentors.
Right.
Sometimes the postman on the beat is going to be able to relate to kids in a way that maybe a high-flying businessman can. So we would love to work with you on that and do outreach through the nonprofit sector that we're involved with. We're involved with literally hundreds of programs.
Well, we will be in touch with you to figure out how we make a
We'd love to
connection.
do. It sounds like a great initiative.
It's a great program.
Do they get stipend?
They do. They get a stipend. They work for about 6 weeks, and the ones that are financed by the public, by the businesses, work in nonprofit organizations, and the ones that are funded by government funds work at the city of Trenton, either parks or recreations, their food programs, things like that.
And one thing I want to mention as well, in addition to the traditional means that we reference with respect to putting the word out and outreach, we are launching or have launched our new Facebook page for the Governor's Office of Volunteerism. And that's going to be a social media center for a variety of information that we're going to be able to share, both based on information and products that we're working on, but also our collaborative partners. So we would suggest that anybody that has access to internet go on and search New Jersey, spelling it out completely, Governor's Office on Volunteerism, and like the page so that you'll get the updates in your feed. And when you have things that are volunteer appropriate, whether you're looking for volunteers, whether you have volunteers to give, if you're posting on your social media page, tag us in it, and then we can share it as we deem appropriate on our page, and that will help also to get the word out. We want to use modern technologies to the best extent possible.
That's great. So let's everybody out there in Facebook land, make sure that we look for the page and like it, and we'll get this rolling. So now, with the little bit of time we have left, next week is National Volunteer Week, right?
Yes, it is.
So I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about that, and I think we've got a little
gift that we brought. Yes. Well,
ahead.
it's very exciting that it is National Volunteer Week. It's an opportunity for all of us to give thanks for our volunteers. I also just want to say, Bob, I'd be remiss if I didn't say the most profound form of volunteering is those men and women serving in the military.
Absolutely.
In harm's way, we love them. We wish we could do more to support them. We're thinking about that. New Jersey National Guard, and then in our everyday life, the EMT volunteers and the firefighters, all of these, the Red Cross does so much for us. So this is an opportunity for us to think about that and to praise them and to recognize what all of them do. And I do want to just say one thing very close to my heart. The corrections volunteers. I don't know if people realize that you can volunteer in correctional settings, both with adults and young people. They are truly doing God's work. Each year I have the opportunity to be with Commissioner Hawakins to thank them. We have some ministerial volunteers, husbands and wife teams, who've served in prison settings for 30 years, bringing good tidings from us in the community. And when we think about, as Commissioner Hawakins talks about, that so many of the people are going to come back to our community, let's try to invest, as best we can in their recuperation and their reentry. So this is a great opportunity for us, and it's Earth Day as well, so we're very excited.
We will spread the word here at the Mid-Jersey Chamber. We'll make sure everybody knows next week is National Volunteer Week.
Thank you so
Well, we
much.
appreciate that because your corporate cooperation and collaboration is so important. A lot of the things that we do are enhanced a great deal by corporate partnerships, public-private partnerships. Again, whether it's through expertise or funding, joining boards, that's something that we definitely need because there's a lot of missions that are routed into our office also that fuel our volunteer efforts as well as recognition of the program. So to that end, we have something that we'd like to present to you.
Yeah.
our great governor and Secretary of State and Lieutenant Governor have given us a proclamation. I'll show it to the Facebook universe. Okay, in recognition of volunteers everywhere. In short, I won't read the whole thing, but in recognition of the 1.5 million volunteers that provide more than 170 million hours of service annually. They touch so many different walks of life in so many areas. They represent all facets of our Garden State families, schools, and colleges, as well as the business community, faith-based organizations, and so on. The state of New Jersey, both our governor and lieutenant governor, honor them and recognize them in this week, April 23rd through April 29th, as Volunteer Week. So on behalf of the I and the state, please accept this.
Thank you very much, and we thank the governor and the lieutenant governor, and we'll be sure that make sure that everybody sees this, right, on Facebook and our other outlets, and then let everybody know that maybe if they see a volunteer next week, give them a big hug.
Give them a big hug. We like that. And we'll be looking for mentors.
Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. That's our Facebook Live or Mid-Jersey Live for today, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks for joining us.